Of course, I had things to do. And I got one of the worst comments, and it was the simplest comments. Never say this to someone with acne. Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aisha. If it's your first time here, welcome. I am everybody's favorite mom on YouTube. Not yet? Okay, whatever. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about tretinoin gel. The video is going to be somewhat educational. I am no scientist or dermatologist, whatever you want to call it, but I just wanted to make something to give my girls and guys some information in regards to acne scarring and what you can do to clear yourself up. 4 months ago, my face was crap. Well, I don't want to call it crap, but my face was really bad. I had deep acne scars. I think they were deep, but I had these acne scars for over a year, so I'm going to think that they're deep. And I was doing what I thought that I needed to do as far as like a skincare routine. I was using an exfoliator. I was using all of these things that I was reading about and looking into, and nothing was really helping me at the pace that I needed to be helped. Because honestly, who wants to have acne for over a year? So I'm going to take you kind of down memory lane from how I got the acne, what I did the first couple of months, and then tretinoin. And I'll make sure that I touch on that in a way so that it's educational and that I'm not rambling on about it. So let's jump right into it. How did I get the acne initially? Lord knows. I broke out one day. I woke up and I had a bunch of acne on the side of my cheek. This was not usual for me. I had pretty great skin. I would say good skin. It's not anything people would like marvel at in the street or anything like that, but I wasn't embarrassed about my skin. I would go out, even I would go to an event without any makeup on, maybe just like mascara or lip gloss, whatever, and I was totally fine with that. Makeup was an accessory. Makeup is to enhance your beauty. That's how I look at it. It's not supposed to make you look like a completely different person. But that's how I would rate my skin back then. But one day I woke up and I had a bunch of acne on one side of my cheek and then a little bit on this side probably in the next following days. So I was like, okay, something is wrong. This is a sign, because I never get breakouts like this. I thought, let me go to Rite Aid or whatever and get some like benzoyl peroxide and we're gonna clear this thing up, right? Wrong. I was burning it. So it was leaving like really ugly scarring, and it was like scars on top of scars. I'll try to insert some pictures. It was the dead middle of summer, and I was so mad because I had to wear like concealer over these acne scars. Guys, stop. Sorry, my dogs are fighting. Stop. Okay, I'll be right back. So I did go to my primary doctor. What happened was, when I went to him, he told me that I had a hormonal imbalance because of my birth control that I was using. And there were some like other underlying conditions going on inside of me, so I had to change my diet and, you know, just make some maternal adjustments and take some supplements to kind of change those things and get them back on track. So I did that, and guess what? The acne stopped completely, but the scars stayed. I said, you know what? Because this took me several doctor's appointments to figure out, by the way, like 4 doctor's appointments, and the appointments were like 2 weeks in between each other. So this is 2 months of going to the doctor, and now I'm supposed to wait for a referral to go to a dermatologist. They had me messed up. I said, I'm gonna go online and find this tretinoin. So I looked it up on AliExpress, and the thing is, the sellers in AliExpress, they know they're not supposed to be selling it to us in the US because it's not regulated the same way. So their links that they put up are pretty temporary. So I can't even put you on to like the link that I used to get this tretinoin. If you do see it and you wanted to gamble and take a chance and be like me, if I was you and you was me and I am me and I don't care, I would try it. I ordered it, I tried it, and it was a great product. So I got the 0.01%, which is probably the strongest one, I believe. And I started using it right away. I want to say this. And this is funny, I can laugh at it now. The turning point and why I went out of my way to get this, but I had went on a trip. I went to New York to visit family. I live in Georgia now. I got one of the worst comments, and it was the simplest comments. Never say this to someone with acne or acne scars. Someone came up to me and said, what happened to your face? Is everything okay? You look different. I was like, okay, Captain Obvious. You have to be the one to point this out right now. Like, obviously I know I have a mirror. I know I have acne on my face, and I also gained a little bit of weight. And I had just gotten my prescription from the doctor that was going to help me with those issues. I said, you know what? let me start taking this seriously and let me go get this tretinoin. And I got it as soon as I got home, probably like 2 days later. It took about 2 weeks to come. So we're gonna say mid to late November. It was like November 21st or something like that when I first got it, and I started it right away. And I wrote down some things that I kind of wish I knew about tretinoin before I started using it. And I'm going to share it with you really fast. Before we get into the list, we're gonna show some before pictures on the screen while I tell you some of the issues that I faced while using tretinoin. But I want to tell you, if you're on it now and that's how you found this video and things are not going well for you, keep going, keep going. You're going to run into these issues. And I did not feel great when I was going through it. I was like, it's not working for me. I'm ruining my skin. I'm hurting my skin. And my skin is not perfect. But in a year, I feel like, or by the end of my journey, a year would be in November. I'll do another video. I feel like my skin might be close to perfect. I don't want to jinx myself, okay? It's such a vast improvement. I want you to keep going. And I'm gonna tell you what you should expect and things you should know, okay? That people probably wouldn't tell you besides the product works. These are some of the things to look out for. The number one thing I wrote down was you're going to have to build your tolerance. When I first started using tretinoin, I would put it on my face, and I used the recommended amount. They ask you to use a pea-size amount for your whole face. I did use a pea-size amount, but just per side of my face because it was really on both sides of my cheeks. So a pea-size on both sides, and I did do my forehead, okay, with whatever was left over. Even if you use the smallest amount of tretinoin, it's going to burn. If your skin is not used to this, and if you were like me, I was using a lot of scrubs and a lot of exfoliators, thinking, oh, and a lot of face masks that ripped off and stuff like that, thinking that these things were helping my skin, they were actually making my skin more sensitive. And when I used this tretinoin, baby, the first day, probably like an hour later, I could not lay down on my pillow because I did it at night with like my night routine. And I was like, wow, like my skin is really burning to the point where I was like, where's the ice pack? Because why is my skin feeling like this? I could not fall asleep. I remember thinking, am I going to get a good night's sleep? And that lasted for 2 nights in a row. Mind you, the second night I didn't use the gel. It was just burning from the night before. And then I washed my face again, and that triggered the burning sensation again. It calmed down during the day, and then at night I washed my face again, and it triggered the burning sensation. I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I did not want to stop using it because I just saw so many testimonies. I knew that, okay, this is gonna be it. What I wish I did was not use exfoliators before I used the tretinoin. That's 1. And 2, moisturize my face before putting it on. So those are 2 things you can do before. You're still going to have dry skin. So that leads me to my second thing that I wrote down, and it is to not put it around sensitive areas. They tell you that in the directions. If you know that around your mouth you're going to burn, you know, behind your nose, that's a very sensitive area, and especially your eyelids. So with me, my eyelids, horrible peeling when I put on tretinoin. Do I put it on my eyelids? No, I do not. This is like 2.5, which you need to know. That was 0.2. That was the second thing you need to know, and 2.5 is what you need to know. Is even though you don't put it in a sensitive area, it might still affect the sensitive area because it's so strong. So what I'll do is I'll put some healing ointment, you know, like some type of A&D ointment or something of that consistency. Maybe you probably can use like coconut oil or something, but I use ointment and I put it on my eyelids before I put tretinoin on my face, just so it can protect my eyelids. Sometimes it even still irritates after I put that to protect my eyelids. So I'm just gonna let you know that you're gonna have irritation in those spots if you do not protect them. If you have normal skin where it doesn't get sensitive, then you're A-okay. Okay, the third thing is to use a little bit. Do not, and I repeat, do not use it like twice in a day. Use the recommended amount. What I'm doing now is I'm doing it when I need it. I can kind of look in the mirror and I know like, okay, my skin is at a certain phase and I can start using tretinoin again. Like right now, I'm not going to use it until next week because I'm in a peeling phase. So I'm like, I'm not going to put it over the process that's already happening. Skin is already turning over, so I'm not going to double dip when it comes to that. So look at the directions, and especially you're going to probably get a prescription. Most of you, listen to your doctor. Do not overdo it. You might look like, you know what, my skin is looking good and my tolerance is building. You might be thinking your tolerance is building, so you're like, okay, let me do it a little bit more. But no, just stick to your regimen, because you'll mess around and you'll burn yourself with this stuff. Trust me. And it's not pretty. The fourth thing, be patient. Yes, please be patient. It took me about a month to get, well, actually, I had a really interesting experience. When I first put it on, right, I told you that it was burning those first couple of days. By like the 4th day, my skin started peeling. And by like the 7th day, 1 week, my skin was super smooth. And my acne scars were like really lighter than they were. They were still there, but I was like, wow, my skin to the touch was really smooth, and I hadn't felt that in a long time. It felt like a baby's bottom. So I was like, wow, this is really gonna work fast for me, because from when I started using it to now, it took like a layer or like a whole tint of darkness off of my acne. So I just thought that that was going to be the trend. Like, maybe if I use this 4 more times, it'll be completely gone. But your results are going to vary. But I will say, be patient with it, because your skin, every time you use it, your skin is going to go through phases. It's never going to be, you're going to have smooth skin forever. Okay? Because even when you have this smooth skin and you keep doing your routine and stuff, and you do your tretinoin, you're going to peel. Okay? So everybody has to kind of go through that phase. Be patient with yourself. Like this week, I consider this, I'm having a good skin week. So it's all worth the trouble. So now I can film and I can be comfortable with you guys, showing you my face with no makeup on. It's really worth it. So be patient while using the tretinoin. And the last few things are just a word of advice from me. I would say, 1, don't use it every day. Unless a doctor tells you to use it every day, I would not use it every day, especially the 0.01%. It's very strong. And 3 things, don't use on sunburn. So if you have active sunburn, do not put tretinoin over it. You're going to burn yourself. Use sunscreen, period. You shouldn't be just, anyway, not using sunscreen, but you have to use sunscreen with this, because why would you want to remove acne scars and then go into the sun, and the sun darkens acne scars? So you're just messing up your own progress. And the last thing is, moisturize your skin every day. I hope these tips helped you, and that my testimony somewhat helped you and guided you into making a decision about tretinoin. If you guys have any more questions, you can ask me in the comment section for this video. That's exactly what I made it for. I want you to ask me questions so I can answer them for you if you need any advice. Make sure you check out some of my other videos if you're new today, and I'll see you next time. Hugs and kisses.